a couple more people are wandering in. So thank you so much for coming to the town hall tonight. It's the Greenfield Communications Town Hall. And we have 4 items on our agenda. And after each agenda item, we're going to have an opportunity to ask questions. So what we would like to do is keep the questions specific to the agenda topic. For example, you know, if you have questions of why the wiring is so different on the south and in the north, you'd want to make those questions under the wiring problems and solutions. I thought under how to find your sports channels is when we can talk about all the programming changes that have occurred, you know, during this last switchover. Under residents' questions, which is our 4th item, I thought we could talk about any concerns that occurred over the last transition, when we can look forward to the menus being updated to reflect the channels we now have, and any other questions we haven't covered at that point. So tonight, if I'd like to introduce our guest. If you don't know him, this is Mike Powers. I would guess he's probably the subject matter expert in the room on Greenfield services. So hopefully we can get your questions answered tonight. And like we were talking with Mike, you know, it gives him a really a good opportunity to listen to where you guys, where to go as far as your services out here and ways to improve, basically working together. So I'm going to let Mike take over, and I think I need to find more chairs. So again, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, when we come to the questions, I might have to take it back.
Okay. Do you want me to sit and use?
No.
Okay, I just like to stand. Okay. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for taking time out of your evening to come to this town hall. What I would like to do is really explain a little history of sort of how we got to this point, as well as some of the transition and new packages we're rolling out, and even some changes that we see in the communications industry that we're trying to prepare the residents of Rancho Murieta for. So when we first took over the system, it was a coax system, basically. Coax is, and I have some handouts here that explain what coax looks like versus a Cat 5 or Cat 3. Because if you're not familiar with it, you wouldn't know. So when we took this over, coax is basically a very solid copper wire surrounded by a dielectric, okay? It was really meant to distribute, transmit cable television signal. Cable companies, when internet started rolling out, realized they didn't have the infrastructure like a phone company to do internet. So technology emerged, it's called DOCSIS, that allowed cable companies to provide internet over coax, which was a great way for cable companies to now deliver internet plus cable to the homes. However, there were limitations. Now, there were different versions of DOCSIS, so it allowed some internet jumps, but for the most part, the cable could only accommodate so much bandwidth. In the home is the same situation. There's coax in homes, but some of it is called RG6, some of it's called RG59. Okay, it's a much older coax. That little copper core is much smaller. It can't transmit a lot of data. It is very poor for transmitting internet. So the RG6 is a little bit better, but that is still limited. It is very tough to get over 50 megabits over coax without certain added devices. So if you have a home with Cat 6 or Cat 5e, okay, it is conducive to very fast speeds. In fact, you can get gigabit speeds over that wire for a certain period of time. There is also a wire that looks just like Cat 5e and Cat 6, called Cat 3. Older homes were built with it, and it was only meant for telephone service. It was not designed for internet because the internet wasn't even invented when the phone service was around. So if you have a home with Cat3 and RG59 cable, you're limited in the type of communication services that could be provided. So what I want to do is go over that a little bit tonight and now go through some of how we sort of got to the channel lineups we have today. So when we took over the system, there was a big mix of channels, okay? And today, the different carriers, whether it be Time Warner or Spectrum, DirecTV or Dish, they have their own package channel lineups, but they're all sort of similar. So if you've done a price compare, you could somewhat easily do that. As we evolved in changing the channels here, we basically have two avenues to distribute cable TV service to your home. There's two different head ends we installed at the community. One is called the DON system, okay, and it provides the delivery over an optical network, okay. The other is they call it a smart box, but basically what it means is it pumps all your signal free and clear. So it's a signal that goes out and go to any TV in your house. You don't need a set-top box, which is great. What we did was we were constantly trying to get channels in there that, from feedback from the community, Golf Channel, Hallmark Channel, Sports Channel, other Turner Network movies. So the problem was, over the years, we kept trying to get these channels in there, and the way we buy from Dish, we buy two packages. We buy a bulk package, which we get very good discount on. And then we buy a package that goes over that DON system that is very standard to what you would get if you just had a satellite dish. So America's Top 250, 200, basically the same. So when Dish offers the bulk programming, we have to pay that reduced rate, but multiply that by every single home in Rancho Murieta, okay? So if we don't have a very good take rate, we're losing a lot of money. So what we tried to do is make that package very attractive. So about a year ago, we actually changed that. We split that out to try to incent people who wanted different channels to migrate into those channels. Unfortunately, we didn't get a huge uptick in take rate. And I think part of that is you also have a lot of people cutting the cord, which means more and more people are not getting cable TV, and they're just doing internet. So I've got 4 kids at home. We haven't had cable TV in 2 years, okay? It's internet, smart TV, and they watch DirecTV Now, Netflix, all that stuff, okay? So, but that's not for everybody. So for us, we are now constantly changing these channels around to try to make them attractive, but the number of subscribers we have in there hasn't changed. And what we realized is our other packages were not competitive. So if you just looked at the Dish website just a couple months ago and looked at the AT 250 package, it was either the same or more expensive than what Dish offered nationally. So we were sort of distorting the price structure. We were trying to get this great value for these people that wanted a certain number of channels, but it impacted everyone. So we thought it would be nice to get all our channels to match what Dish offers nationally. Besides wanting to do that, Dish was coming down on us pretty hard because we were not really following a lot of their guidelines. So we needed to start doing that. So by doing this now, we wanted to be able to offer a value that if you did go to the website now, you could see, wow, I live in Rancho Murieta, I'm getting a discount. That's pretty good. The problem is we're following the packages just as DirecTV and Dish offers nationally, and none of those guys offer these great channels in their smaller packages. That's the problem, okay? So what we said was we'll offer up still do a basic package that we have to pay for every single home in the community. We'll try to get some good channels in there, recognizing we're going to lose some of the ones you really like. And those, if you still want them, you'll have to migrate to whatever that package is that Dish currently offers. So that's sort of how we ended up on the cable side. Let me touch a little bit on the internet side. And just, you know, as I go through all this, and we start going through questions, I'm here as long as you want. So I will stay as long as it takes to answer everyone's question and make sure that you know exactly what's going on, not only with us, but inside your house from a wiring perspective. So on the internet side, About 2 years ago, we started planning for rolling out gigabit service in Rancho Murieta. There's a handful of communities across the country that are able to get that. Verizon was rolling out Fios, they stopped, okay? Google Fiber started, they stopped, okay? So a lot of companies have tried to do this, and they have not been very successful. There are some out there, but we wanted to put Rancho Murieta on as a community to get a service that really you cannot get anywhere else. To do that, you need a fiber system, number one, which we have, but you also need a very large circuit to serve that fiber system. So about 2 years ago, we started designing a main circuit that feeds from the Rancho Murieta community to a new data center that we had in Sacramento. So that line from that data center is just for Rancho Murieta. It's not shared with anyone else. By doing that, we can now offer gigabit service. So that was completed late end of the summer, okay? So now we're able to offer extremely fast internet speeds. So part of the cable issue sort of migrates with the internet issue because where the industry is going is cable companies are very concerned. They're concerned they're not going to be in business very much longer. They're concerned everyone eventually will have an internet connection to their house and nothing else. That is the way the industry is going. However, it's a timing. Is that going to be a year from now? 10 years from now? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I would not have expected the cord cutting to take place in Rancho Murieta that it has in many of our other communities. It's an older demographic. People like to have their cable TV. So when Rancho started trending the same way as a younger population to cut the cord, it made us wake up and say, we can't keep delivering the service we are. We have to make some changes. At the same time, Dish was on us to make the changes. We figured, let's do this all at once, roll it out with the new gigabit service. So that's where we are today. We've tried to structure the packages as cheap as we can. My objective is to get out. We have 700 homes in Rancho Murieta that are not even tied to our system, okay? So that means they have AT&T service, which gets about 1.5 megabits, and probably DirecTV. There's no reason we shouldn't have them. So my objective is to try to incent all of those to come onto our system, get a much better internet service, and also, if possible, raise our take rates on the cable TV. So if you look at the value proposition, if you were to go on the DirecTV website, AT&T service today in Rancho, or the Dish website, if you go to Comcast, Xfinity, you're going to see the people in Rancho Murieta are getting a great deal, okay? The other utilities cannot match what we offer here. However, there were still some changes. So with that, I'll stop talking for a little bit, and what I'd love to do is maybe, take some questions, Joanne, and we'll just run with that.
I'll see if anybody from the audience has a question. Go ahead and raise your hand, if you don't mind standing up. Let's see, what's your name, Bill? Not here. Not that I know of.
Thanks, Joanne. Hi. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a question. Your presentation so far has suggested that your cable business is tied to your internet business, and you've also suggested that the cable business may go away. What will happen to the internet business if the cable business goes away?
So, you want that?
Okay.
I don't see. Oh, okay. If and when the cable business goes away, it will not be for a long time. Okay, it will be a very, very slow migration. The internet service that's our bread and butter. I mean, we do internet. We think we do it very well. We do it fast. But we do cable TV because people want it. If we were to look at another community, we would have to serve cable TV because people want it. Now, it's a much smaller percentage each year of people that want it. I mean, our cable subs, it's 2,400 homes in Rancho Murieta, maybe 800 take our cable service, okay? That number goes down each year. Doesn't mean we're going to turn it off, okay? But what it means is we just want to bring value and in the best possible way. And what I would love to do is just explain how, if you were interested in cutting the cord, how you can do that. So we're thinking about rolling out, maybe in a month or two, some classes that people could attend, and we will talk you through how to cut the cord. Now, that's not great for us because we're going to lose you as cable sub, but I want you as an internet sub, or preferably a gigabit sub. So the business is just changing. Not going away, it's just changing to more internet subs, less cable TV subs.
Just a second. We have some people who are back in the lobby. There are a few chairs up here, and you can always sit over here on the table if you care to move. If not, you're fine. I just want to let you know there are some chairs still out here. He was first, and then you. Okay. Do you mind standing up? And your name first?
Rob. Excuse me, Rob.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I just had a question about your rollout. I found out about the changes when I stopped getting the station that I was looking for. So which was, to me, and I would expect that a company would send me something ahead of time. This meeting is great. This meeting we should have had a month ago or something like that. So I'm just wondering why this rollout is so kind of inefficient. And then secondly, when I talked to people at your company, after I found out about that I was missing channels, they really didn't know the channel thing, the answers to my questions. Like some basic questions, how do I get the Sacramento Kings from now on if I want to watch the Sacramento Kings? So just the procedure that we've gone through here seems to me to be missing something. Thank you.
And we're getting a little off topic because that would be more probably under resident question because we're talking about the roll-up. But because you asked, we're going to go ahead and answer it. That's okay. It's a good question.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. In any new transition rollout, the biggest hindrance is communication. I get it. The problem was we did not have, the best way to communicate is really email, in my opinion. So we had X number of emails. We didn't have everybody's email address. We were trying to go through call logs. We didn't think, we've used mailers in the past, and we didn't feel it to be very effective. I don't know, maybe people thought it was junk mail, they threw it out. So we really sat down, we tried to figure out how's the best way to tell everyone, here's what's happening. So we put a placard up here, we did an email blast, Joanne helped with the whole email blast, we did other emails to communicate, but you're right, there was some customer contact information we didn't have. So regarding the questions to my guys, they're technicians. They're very good at what they do. They probably haven't memorized all the channel lineups, but one of the biggest issues they get asked about is the sports. Probably the number one call we get in our call center is the Kings game, okay? It's very frustrating because I have zero control over Kings game. I would love to give the Kings game every single time they're on. It's not my decision. Years back, channels used to black out the Kings game or any sports would black out certain games if it wasn't sold out, okay? That's changing. That still happens to a degree. But what's happening now is you have other media outlets buying games. So if a Fox Sports, an ESPN, or someone else buys, say, a Kings game, a Warriors game, whatever it is, they don't want it being showed anywhere else. They want you to go to their channel. If you remember, the NFL channel started broadcasting some Thursday night games. People weren't happy because a lot of people didn't have the NFL channel. So, but the NFL channel didn't allow CBS to run the same football game. So when you have, and this is happening more and more, when you have these other outlets buy a certain game, they require it to be blacked out. The other problem is that is constantly evolving. So the people, and I spent a lot of time on this last year to figure out who even makes this decision. I thought it was Dish. It's not Dish, okay? It's now NBC Sports, and their decision-making process is constantly changing. So the best thing we can do is just when Dish has the information, we get it out right away. There is a link on a website. It's called Game Finder. You can go on at any time, put whatever game you're looking for, it'll tell you where it is. I looked at the game that's, I think, the Kings game scheduled for 31st. It shows it's blacked out. Now, I don't know why. I can't answer that. So my guys aren't going to have that answer too. But it's been an ongoing issue. I don't expect it to go away because of the issue with different sports games being on different channels. It's a Game Finder link is on, if you go to our website, there's a right tab, egreenfield.com, and then there's a tab under Rancho Murieta that says documentation. It's got a list all about home wiring, about how to scan your set-top, anything that you could possibly have to do. It's got a procedure on how to do it. Also there is the Game Finder. So you hit that link, it takes you right there.
That sounds like how to find your sports games. You had a question?
I'm Trish. Just a quick thing as to your email. I was told when I called and all of a sudden my husband couldn't get the Golf Channel and he went ballistic. I went through every single email, and I get emails from you, but I had nothing about the change. And to RMA, they should have got it in the newspaper a month ago, not this last issue. So anyway, but my question really was, when you're talking about the different Cat 5, et cetera, do you have any years approximately on when those would have been installed in homes?
And that's a wiring.
It is. Yes. First off, Rancho Murieta did a great job getting communication. If there's an issue with communication, our bad. Okay, they did actually a very good job helping us with getting that rolled out. So with the wiring, it's tough. I can give you general years. Okay, if you've got a house built in the early 80s, prior to 1980, there is still a very good chance it was installed with RG59 and Cat 3. Okay, if that's the case, it's a problem. It's very tough to get cable service. It's impossible to get internet service. I shouldn't say impossible. There's always ways you can do wireless, different things. So you've got homes in the South, right? No issue. We have very few calls, very few service calls. They have more modern wiring, okay? We've had issues in the past of pixelation, of internet speeds not being where they are. So many times it comes down to a splitter is old, wasn't installed correctly. It's old wiring. And I'm sure if you own one of those houses, you don't want to hear that. You want to have to rewire your whole house. So what we want to be able to do, especially on the internet side, there's ways to get very fast internet and not having to rewire your whole house. Okay, if you could just get a Cat 5, Cat 6 connection from where our converter is to a good high-speed router, you're good. Okay, TV's really problematic. I just left my guys, and I need to go buy them pizza or something because they're working their butts off. But they're coming into homes, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, I'd like a set-top box for each of my TVs." The original coax line is run inside the wall, and the splitters are inside the wall. They don't even know where to look for them. So it turns, and you don't want to hear that this is now a massive wiring job, which is not cheap. Okay, so I get it. I get the issues with low voltage wiring, but I really want to be upfront about it, especially with gigabit coming out. If you have one of those homes, don't buy gigabit service from us. It's not going to work well. So, however, we can sit down with you and come up with a very economical way for you to get that service without rewiring the entire house. If you want the TV set with each set-top box, you really, to make it work well, you really need a good coax line. You really need a new one. I mean, if I had wiring that was 30 years old, I'd change it out. I know you might not want to hear that, but that's the proper way to get your signal to each TV. There's some other ways on the internet side, but for the most part, that's what you're sort of left with. So I wish I had a better answer on that. Yes. Yeah, like I said, the South, not an issue. And not all the homes are an issue in the North, because there are different phases of when they were built. But we know, we don't even have to look at the old logs. We know exactly what homes were built when, based on the inside wiring, unfortunately.
So just to kind of get back to the agenda, back to the internet video trends, I had a question, but is your question to the wiring? Okay. Well, so we'll skip my question till the end, and we'll just jump right to, no, I think we're on wiring solutions.
Gil. Pretty basic. I've got Greenfield techs coming next week, Thursday, because I'm going to upgrade the TV. Can they tell immediately in looking inside my house and my connections what my wiring is?
The answer is yes. So not only will they be able to tell just by looking at it, they all have testers. So they can go to any jack in your house, and it might look good Cat RG6, but they'll test it. And if it doesn't test well, they'll be able to tell you that. What it means is the RG6 is in, so that's good, but maybe it goes to some splitter that it's not. We've seen a lot of splitters where the little connections were just loose. They weren't put on properly.
Well, if they tell me my wiring is no good, quote unquote, wouldn't it be better for me to go to DirecTV rather than go to all the expense of rewiring to disconnect?
You could. I mean, DirecTV is going to have the same issue. If you want to set top bots on each TV, it's going to be the exact same issue. Yeah. In fact, hopefully they would tell you up front, because what you don't want to do is install all of it, and your signal quality is horrific, and you're upset, instead of being told up front, this is not a good match.
We have a question over here. Your name is?
Thank you, Trish. Number one, thank you for coming out and speaking with us, you know, and as the gentleman had mentioned over there, I'm a football fanatic. My husband's a football widower, and had gotten the River Valley Times and saying, hey, tomorrow we're switching it out, so I couldn't get NFL Network the week before the Super Bowl when they have all these special things on. So now that you've explained, you know, some of the packages and stuff, I just thank you for your time, but I thought I can get my bill on time, and a little flyer in there would have been extremely helpful, saying, hey, coming up on such and such a date, you're going to lose this. So thank you.
And just so you know, because we had kind of discussed it too, and I think you know, mailing out a notice to all the customers probably would have been a better way to, you know, announce the whole thing. But well, you know, I don't think we knew ahead of time. I think, as you know, there's been a lot going on with Greenfield in the last month, making changes and this and that. So we're just kind of going with the, you know, the best we can do. There's a question back here. Oh, sure.
So also, we got a little held up. Our plan was to put it in the prior month's bill. We had to run the new channel changes through Dish. Should have taken a couple of days. It took 2 weeks. We missed our cutoff for the bill. So, again, our bad, but, you know, I would have liked to have had that in the bill. The other thing regarding different channels that are missing, if you go to a smart TV and you start scrolling through all these apps, you'll find almost an app for every channel. So, HBO, you don't get HBO? HBO Now. I mean, and we can help you set that up. But there is almost, for NFL's got one too. So NFL channel, if you want to get all those channels and you don't want to rewire your house, the best way, in my opinion, is to use your smart TV, okay? You won't be able to maybe get it on every room, but maybe your living room, have it so any channel you want is right there. But again, it won't be delivered over Dish, it will be delivered over the internet. So all those apps on your smart TV are coming over the internet, not the Dish system, which is why we're offering the gigabit service now. If you get the gigabit service, you can download all of those. Every TV in the house, if it's wired, can stream them all at once, and there'll be zero issue. So, yeah.
I have a question way back here first. I know you didn't see him, but he had his hand up. Oh, wait a minute, I'll bring the microphone. Okay, your name is?
Travis.
Go ahead.
As far as working with the smart TVs, what router or wireless router works best with the new system you're providing? As far as, do you have a brand name?
So we're always hesitant to recommend routers Because as soon as we do, and it doesn't work, they call our call center and says, you told us to do this, it doesn't work. There's so many different routers out there. Some are really cheap and will not work. They're just not good. Some are really good. Netgear has pretty good stuff, okay? In my house, I just installed something called an Orbi. It's made by Netgear, ORBI. What it does is, in my house, I had two sort of wireless things, because I don't have great inside wiring in my house. So I've got one Netgear device here and another one upstairs, and it was two different Wi-Fi. So when you went from one house to the other, you'd switch, or you'd have to force yourself to switch to the new Wi-Fi. What the Orbi does, it's like a mesh router. Okay, so it still pushes a signal out in your house, but it's all the same signal. So it's the same password when you go on. So I just got that in my house. It's been working pretty good. What I would do, maybe do a search, consumer reviews or some type of search to see the best routers. But, I mean, Walmart sells routers for like $20. To be honest, I would not buy one of those. I mean, especially if you have a good internet signal coming in, I would get one that specifically states it's for gigabit service. Even if you're not getting our gigabit service, if you have 100 meg, maybe someday you will. The other thing about routers, which is unfortunate, and maybe a little intentional on the manufacturer of routers, they don't last a long time. They last 2 to 4 years, and you almost have to get another one. So, in the last 5 years, I've gone through about 3 routers. So that's unfortunate, but for the Netgear ones are pretty decent. So. Yes. Yeah. So for the gig, especially if you have bad wiring in the house, you just want a really good router right on the side where that converter is. So you want that really close to the converter, okay? Then push it out with those Orbis. You buy them in Costco, and it's based on the size of your house. So it'll say 1,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet, and then that's the package that you get. I'm sure there's others like Orbi, but that's just the one that I happen to know off the top of my head. That's what it is. So you would plug it, so you would have, our optical converter. The output of that would go into your Orbi. And based on the size of your house, you have these other sort of Orbi extenders that you place in different locations. Yeah.
I think you had a question? Okay, stand up. And your name?
My name is Paul. I have a follow-up question to what you talked about earlier of having a smart TV and finding all of the applications for almost every channel that's out there to run it through your smart TV. Some of those are subscription-based, but some of them require a service provider or a cable provider in order to use it. Going to the new system, will we have that option with our new cable system?
That's actually a really good question. Because right now, if you go on and look at some of these, let's say you take Netflix or Vudu or some of the Hulu, it'll say, who's your internet provider, right? Well, the main internet providers are there, okay? You got Koch, you got Spectrum, they don't list them all. They list like, well, not everyone. The smaller, it's a long list, but they're major cable companies, okay? So for what we offer, it's a similar service. I actually think it's a better service. It's Dish Anywhere. Okay. Now you do need the AT. You need to have an account, which means you need the AT200, I think. Oh no, the AT120 with an account. You get the Dish Anywhere, and now you can get all of those apps. You can stream them to your laptop, to your PC, to anywhere you want. So it does the same thing. But you're right, our name, Greenfield, is not going to show up on your TV as one of your internet providers. And if you need help with that, let us know, and we'd be happy to talk you through it.
I think we had another question over here.
Multiple questions.
Multiple questions. And your name is?
Stanislaus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I put it on a piece of paper so I could read it. So there are 3 different varieties of question. One is the cost. So right now we have. Oh no, you can hold it.
No, okay. Well, I'm just making it so
Okay, okay.
Okay, you gotta talk kind of, there you go, try to talk.
Okay, so right now we have the basic TV and the basic internet, right? So in order to get the same channels and same internet service, we are going from almost 28 plus 15 more for the boxes. That's almost like a 30% increase in what we are paying. We were told that the cost will not increase. And I have some website information, people telling the same thing. There are a lot of comments about that.
Comments are not reliable information.
Comments on TV, comments on website, you don't consider them reliable?
Who are they from?
Well, Judy Perez, Damon Mercado, and then Philip.
See anybody from Greenfield on there or RMA?
No, this is the on the website, the RMA.
Yes, well, just because reliable information comes from Greenfield Communications and the RMA Association, not found on websites.
These are questions related to the service, not the information.
Questions related to the service are fine.
Yes.
But you said it was, you said somebody said it was free.
No, these are questions related to the service.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll handle it. So, right.
Yeah, I'm
so the
trying to-
increase, why can't we?
We're not going anywhere. You have to ask all your questions, I promise. But I'll just do one at a time, so we'll make it easy. So what you asked, correct me if I'm wrong, was the basic internet was $28, right? And went up to $35. Okay. So, correct. So the reason that is when we first laid out the package pricing, it was 4 years ago. Technology changes very quickly. I didn't have a crystal ball then. I don't have one now. I don't know where the industry will be in 5 years from now. Okay, I can sort of guess, but I have no idea. Okay, at the time, 20 meds was a fantastic base speed to get. Okay, if you look at other internet providers, it's very rare to find one that offers their base speed to be less than 30 megs. Exception, AT&T, 1.5 megs here, because that's the infrastructure they have in place. Okay, but that's not by if they would want to. So the reason the 20 megs worked is, you know, it handled a lot of what the applications were 4 years ago. There's video streaming today, the 4K and all the other stuff that takes up so much bandwidth. 20 meg is not a good base speed. So any internet provider has to come up with a base speed to where it will handle a lot of the core functions that people want in the internet. Because what you don't want are people calling in and saying, you know, I'm buffering again. I can't download everything. And you don't want the tech on the other end of the phone saying, oh, you have to upgrade to our faster package. You don't want that interaction. So what internet companies are forced to do is raise their base speed to a level that is most suited for the majority of internet providers. Not the gamers, not the guys downloading tons of stuff, just the average. So the average has gone up over 30 megabits. So what we did was we raised our base speed to 35 megabits. If we kept the base speed at 20, we probably would have kept the price at 28. To raise it up to 35, it requires a lot more bandwidth. It requires that big backhaul circuit we have to be much larger. That's why that price went up. And if you looked at 35 meg for what others offer it for, that's a pretty good price.
Do we have a need for that? Was there a big demand from the community? We up to 35 or higher?
So what we monitor internet usage, graphs. We don't know where you go on the internet, but what we just see is volume, okay? That volume per home keeps creeping up every single month, okay? That's why we went to the 35 megs. It wasn't like people said, hey, I just need 35 megs. We can monitor that. We could see that. We monitor the circuit, the usage, right? So we had the original circuit, and we bought a new circuit. That circuit was getting maxed out. People using more and more, and we had more and more people calling in, okay? When you start matching the call volume with your internet flow, and you know the industry standard is every other ISP is raising their base speeds, then you have to do the same.
Okay.
Why $7 instead of $2 or $20?
So I can't go into detail of the cost of the circuit, okay? But there's a couple of things. Okay, well, I would challenge you to go some other communities and find a cheaper internet price. That's what I would challenge you to do.
Okay, you had a second. Oh, we have a couple more questions back here. I'm going to walk around because they're both back here. You had a question? Go ahead and stand up. And your name is?
John. So I'm curious about quality. So, you know, we're thinking of going from DirecTV to Greenfield. And as part of the new offering, one of the things I'm concerned with is pixelation, things that occur. We've had Greenfield Jan, we have the wiring. They said the wiring was fine. So can you comment on what causes the stop, starts, lose the signal, and how does Greenfield deal with that?
So the biggest issue we have people calling in with cable quality is pixelation, okay? A lot of it has to do with the inside wiring. However, DirecTV, we also were looking at our equipment in the head end, okay? We found a bug in one of the smart boxes that Dish did not even know about that intermittently caused pixelation, okay? So it was a combination, and it's very tough when you're trying to diagnose this stuff, you know, which is inside wiring, which is, so we identified that, we got it fixed. So that means the signal then is good to the side of the house, but it could be still an issue with the inside wiring. That said, there are times, time to time, where different channels will come in, whether through the satellite or whatever, where the service quality is not fantastic. It only lasts usually for a little bit, and it fixes itself, okay? Those are the main issues. DirecTV would have the same issue as well, okay? I do hope you switch over, because I think we do better service than DirecTV, but I hope that answers your question.
Hi, you had a question?
My name's Kathy. First of all, I say thank you for coming tonight and this crowd. We had one of the service gentlemen come out today, and we have one TV hooked up to the living room so that we can watch football, Hallmark, all those channels, golf. The question, we did have to put new wiring in, and is there a charge for that? And how much are we charged for wiring? Plus, am I charged for the time that he is there changing that and changing everything over? Because he had mentioned something about $75 an hour. Are we being charged each individual person for that changeover? I know I'm charged for the box and stuff, but.
So we do charge $75 an hour if we need to do some wiring, okay? We try to be cheaper than local low-voltage contractors, but we also tell our guys to let you know that any licensed low-voltage contractor is fine. As long as they're licensed, it's okay. If they're just coming in, doing an install, there's no charge for labor, okay? They come and do the install, they take care of what they need. If they have to run an additional line, and it takes a half an hour to an hour, there's a charge for that. But I always tell my guys, if it's less than a half an hour, don't charge. Just let it be free, okay? So, but we also had, when we first took over the system, we had some of our guys at home for 2 days and didn't charge anything. So there has to be some reasonable expense for the time for our guys to be there. What I want my guys to do is just be very upfront with what they think that will be. So once they survey the house and what they think they need to do, to try to give you a very fair estimate of how many hours it would take. So then you can make a decision whether you want to do the work, whether you want us to do the work, or maybe someone else do the work.
Do we have any more questions? Oh, she raised her hand first. Okay, and your name is?
Mary, and I just wanted to know, you mentioned a top set box. I don't know what that is.
So close. If I said that, I misspoke. It's a set-top box. That's okay. So any other home outside of a community like Rancho requires a set-top box on your TV. unless you have an off-air rabbit air antenna, you need a set-top box on every single TV that you have service to, okay? Rancho Murieta is unique. We offer a basic package that is the bulk that I mentioned, but that we have to pay Dish for every single home in the community, even though most don't get the service. But because it's bulk, it will go to every single TV in your house. No other community, well, if you have a very similar setup as we do, but it's rare. So if you find a neighbor who lives in Sacramento, every one of their TVs will have a set-top box, no matter who their cable provider is. Rancho is very unique. We try to keep it unique. We try to give good value. So any of those TVs don't require a set-top box. The issue is when you go to upgrade, and now you want a set-top box in some of those TVs, some of the TVs that sort of worked okay a little bit without the set-top box, now maybe not working so well, again, because of the inside wiring issue. So that's why I asked my guys to please test any outlet before they install a set-top box, because if it tests bad, we're going to have an unhappy customer, because we're going to put the set-top box in and your signal quality is not going to be good. So that's why you'll have some TVs, if you have the bulk package, that do not require a set-top box, okay? And if you have the expanded cable television package, every TV in your house will need a set-top box. And we have whole different types of set-top boxes. There's, Dish, believe it or not, has come out some really nice set-top boxes. They have a hopper now that has a hard drive. So now you don't have to pay DVR fee. We don't pick any of these, all these prices for set-top boxes and DVR fees. We don't set any of that. That's all set by Dish, okay? However, we're always looking for ways to try to go around that. One way is this hopper with the, it might be a Wally. I think it might be a Wally. But anyway, it has a hard drive attachment, and now there's no DVR fee. So, and some of these set-top boxes are really very good with the voice remotes and other types of amenities. So it's a physical box. It is. They range from yay big to yay big. Yeah, well, Pace is what's called a master distributor for Dish. That's why they're Pace boxes. So there are a myriad types of set-top boxes. We have them listed on our website, and what we try to do is explain what each one does so you can figure out what functionality you would like, so we match you up with the right set-top box. But there's a whole bunch. There's Wallies and Joeys and Hoppers and Pace sets. So there's a lot of different set-top boxes. You just want to get the one that's best suited for you. Yeah, like I said, I don't set pricing for set-top boxes. Okay, all the set-top boxes are set by Dish. So there's a lease for those. You can. Let me get back to you on all of them. I'm pretty sure all of them you can buy. They're not cheap. However, it's an option. I will get back to you if I can get your contact. Maybe I'll get back to you and let you know which. Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, we don't make money on that. That just goes, that's Dish. So if there's a way to do it cheaper, I would let you know.
Okay, she was first, and then I'll get your question.
Trish again. So my question is then, I used to be able to get the golf channel on the TVs that weren't hooked up to a set-top box because I don't ever really record or anything, but now you're telling me, like in my bedroom or my guest area, I won't be able to get all the channels even when I upgrade. I'll only be able to get them where I have a set-top box.
So the basic package now, that is sort of what we call free and clear, meaning you don't need a set-top box, has less channels than the prior basic, okay? If you want to upgrade and get whatever channels you're looking for, the answer is yes. You'll need a set-top box, and you need an account. The good part about having an account is you can do a lot of other things. Okay, you can do pay-per-view, there's all different other things. But you're right, you do need a set-top box if you want to get those added channels.
So I think her question was, if they upgraded and they've got a set-top box on one TV, do they need a set-top box on all the TVs?
Yes. So again, if let's say you order the AT200 package. You right. Right. No, I get it. I get it. The problem is you have a neighbor that all they want is a Hallmark channel and not the Golf Channel. And their neighbor only wants a certain sports channel and not those other two. So we were sort of pulling our hair out trying to make everyone happy. You can't. So what we did is we're matching now the Dish programming. And by doing that, it's easier for you to go see if you're getting a value. You're going to be able to see the same channel lineup that we offer, same channel lineup on Dish, and you'll see it's cheaper. And that's why we put that little comparison together, because if you look at DirecTV, it's not even close. It's a nice deal. But you're right. If that's the only channel you want, you know what? I would look into that the app and see if you can work it through then. So just an idea.
So then I would have to get another $15 a month for another set-top.
It depends on the set-top box, but there is a fee for every single set-top box, unfortunately. Yes. Yep.
And you can only get the upgraded channels through the set-top boxes, correct? Okay. Oh, okay. Come on, stand up.
If I don't ask you this question, my
Your name?
Kings fan spouse is not going to let me back in the house tonight. Okay. The Kings games come on NBCSN-CA here. Now, on the AT200 package, which we're going to upgrade to, it shows NBCSN as a channel. Will that be the channel that the Kings games come on?
And will all the Kings game?
So sort of the short answer is yes, but there's a caveat to it. Okay, I would not say an expert, but I've learned a lot about Kings games and blackouts. Okay. Yeah, no, got it. What we also noticed, and Dish didn't even know this. Okay, they couldn't even explain this. The only one where I finally found someone at NBC Sports who explained this. They take the channel, whatever the game is, and sometimes they'll pump it on what the channel guide shows. Sometimes they pump it on an alternate channel. So there was a period of time, a year or two ago, where we had the NBC Sports channel in our basic package, okay? And all of a sudden, people are not getting Kings games. And we just kept going back and trying to figure out why this is happening. Well, it turns out they were sending it to an alternate channel that we didn't have, even though we had NBC Sports. So you know what we did? We added all those alternate channels. So in AT200, all those alternate channels are there. But there's a lot of alternate channels. So that's why sometimes you got to do this game finder, and if it's not on that main channel, don't give up. Look for some of those alternate ones. But also look to see if it is blacked out. Right.
So it is possible if you go to one of the higher packages. Yes. Is there an app for the Kings games that you can actually?
No, but I believe there's an app for the NBC Sports. All these channels have their own apps now, okay? The problem is if you have ESPN, buy that game, it's not going to be on NBC Sports, right? So that's the issue. That's why if you go to that game finder, according to Dish, that game finder will tell you what alternate channel it's on if it's not on that main one, just to make your life a little bit easier. And it'll tell you if it's blacked out, too. Yeah, if you go into that documentation tab, there's a whole bunch of really useful information there, one of which is Game Finder.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
So it's on that exact same channel, but it's Bay Area because that's the only way you can get the Giants game. So NBCSN is listed on the channel listing, but it doesn't say Bay Area. So will the Giants games be broadcasted if it's not Bay Area? I mean, how would we?
Yeah, so there's also, and you got to, so NBC Sports and some of these others, they're always trying to get you to upgrade to bigger packages. So there's a sports package, I don't know the exact name of it, but there's a sports package that has all of those games. But I think that's might even be the AT250, I can find out. But there are certain games that are only on different sports packages and channels. So, for example, the Bay Area sports, we have a channel for that, but you might have the same issue with one of those alternate channels, or you might have the issue where it's broadcast on something else. So the best thing to do, and I know it's not like it used to be. You used to go to one channel, that's where all the games were. It's just different. Game Finder will tell you exactly where it's at. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to start up at the front and work my way back.
I'm Kathy. I want to know, is my wiring causing, on my phone it comes up my Wi-Fi is unstable, and I have a brand new router, Netgear 35. So is that the wiring that's causing my Wi-Fi to be unstable?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Without looking, I would not want to just say that it's your wiring. Tell me what the message says.
Wi-Fi unstable.
For your phone.
Well, it says it on my phone because I just happened to be on my phone at that time. I don't know if it's unstable when I'm on the computer or not.
Okay. So I'm going to recommend something, and if it doesn't work, please call us. But the most common fix to Wi-Fi things is rebooting your, got it, right? The other is, if you have your phone and you put it on Wi-Fi, do a speed test. And if your speed test is low, there's an issue of the placement of your wireless router. Try to get it in a different position. If it's high, then it's probably your phone. But it does not sound like it would be any type of inside wiring issue because you're off a very wireless router. So I would try, if not, call us and we'll.
Okay, so we have a new one over here. You want to come on out? I'm going to steal some of your space here. Thank you. Your name is?
My name's Pete. Anyway, what I want to know is, we have the account top 200. Okay. I once had the Warriors games, and you guys took it away from me, or Dish took it away from me on the sports thing. Now, do I have to buy the whole sports package to get the Warriors now and the Giants, because the Giants are going away?
First of all, we did not take it away. If it was up to me, everyone would have every sports game in the history of the world, okay? Wasn't me. Trust me, most of our calls to our call center is this topic. If I can make it go away, I would love to. The Warriors are a very, very hot ticket last couple of years. Their programmers keep trying to push them into higher and higher packages, okay? It's what they're doing. So a lot of the games are on the Bay Area sports channels, but some are not, because they're trying to get people to pay more for the premium channels. So unfortunately, that's what it is. I don't know the schedule and when they're on what channels, but that's just the trend in the industry. If the Warriors lost every one of their games, they'd probably stop being on all the channels. And if the Kings started winning all their games, you'd have the same issue with that. But it is. The Warriors are just a very hot ticket, and sometimes they're on the more premium channels. So here's what I would do before you do that. Look at sort of the game finder. Get a sense for where the Warriors games are being played, okay? If the vast majority are on the lower channel, just get that. I suspect you'll find you don't have to get that full sports package, but before you do that, I would really check to see where the majority of games are played. It's going to be the same. It's not the same issue as the Warriors. Warriors is just a very high ticket value right now.
Okay, we're going to wander back this way. Did I miss anybody? Did you have a question? Okay. Yeah, and I'll get to you guys. Go ahead and stand up.
I noticed in this small brochure that it says they charge $25 for a tech visit. Is that going to be all tech support or just one time?
So I think you're referring to the wire maintenance plan. Is that right? So what we offer a wire maintenance plan. And what it is if you sign up, if you have issues with your inside wiring, we come out and fix it for free. However, there is some fine print. Well, more than, it's bold print, okay? It's for wiring that has been inspected and has been found to be good, okay? We can't give them out wire maintenance plan for wiring we've never looked at, because then we'd just be spending all day there rerunning wire. It's an initial inspection that our guys would go to every single tap and test it. So you'll be able to know where your signal is good, and if you do want the wire maintenance plan, and we certify that, if anything were to fail in the future from a wiring perspective, it's on us. We fix that for free. I think it's a couple dollars a month.
Joanne, may I make a suggestion? How about if Mike uses one of the wire mics up there?
We're doing fine, Larry. I like the exercise. You have a question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Done.
Oh, okay, well, we could do
Right.
that.
Advice taken.
Hi, I'm sorry I got here a little late, so maybe you covered it, but on the pricing package, on the basic, is there an additional charge for HD?
No, it's included.
You need to let your guys in the office know that then, because they quoted me an additional charge of $15 for HD.
Oh, is that for set-top box?
Now, I have a Pace.
Yeah, there are additional, the service itself, I mentioned about the bulk programming, it's sort of out free and clear, that's HD. We've paid for that to Dish, so the programming is out in HD. Set-top boxes, based on the functionality, charge different things for different purposes.
Right, but not for HD. So what does a Pace cost?
It depends what the box, there's a lot of boxes, they're all in the website, it's listed every box and the price.
All right. If you have your own, you can use it?
It would have to be the exact model number of the, because the reason you have a set-top box is because Dish it jumbles the signal.
I have a 722K that is Dish capable. Can I use it?
I think so. I think so. You know what? You might have programming in there that's a little different. I would certainly try it if you have one and see if it works. You'll save yourself the fee.
The other boxes you're offering are those 211s, right?
Well, like I said, there's a whole myriad list. So there's a lot. The 211, some of the older ones, but I would really go with the new, like the Hopper Duos.
Sure.
Take the place of a 722. They're the same price. I'm pretty sure the same price. So, and they have more functionality. 722s are just an older set-top box.
Right, but if you got one and...
Oh, yeah, if you have it, use it. No, absolutely, yeah.
Well, I used to have it installed in the motorhome, but I don't use that anymore. So.
Okay, yeah, no, I would try it.
Thank you.
Sure.
You know what, Larry? That was a good idea. Okay, you had a question? Your name?
My name's Patty, and I'd like to know when the new bills are coming in.
It's the same bill cycle that it should be.
Well, no,
it should be the same bill
I
cycle.
got charged in January my old price, and I didn't get some of the stations that I used to have.
Well, the transition...
And how do we have to call you to let you know if we're changing to a lower package?
So the changeover took place on January 24th, okay? If we have a sort of a transition, so if you don't want to do anything, it shows what the package will be. And we tried to get it as close to possible to the existing packages. So if you're okay with that, you don't have to do anything.
No, I got charged for my old price for television stations I didn't get in January.
Well, the transition didn't place till the 24th.
Well, I've been missing Hallmark and Game Show, which is the only things my 96-year-old mother can watch. And we haven't had them now for 2 weeks. And yet I've been charged the whole price for what I used to have.
Okay, so again, the channel change took place on the 24th. The bills came out for all of January, okay? So the Dish bill, the February bill will reflect that.
Do I get credit for what I missed in January?
It will be prorated. So the January bill went for and I have to look at our billing cycle. We might follow Dish's. So so I will get back to you on that.
The bill comes in on the
If-
20th, or your bill says it's as of the 20th.
Right, but the date of the generation and the date the bill goes out is not the same day. It would be impossible to do that. So the bill's going to come out a little bit later than that billing cycle period. So if the billing cycle period is the 25th to the following 24th, there'll be no prorated charge. It'll be a clean bill. If it's the 1st to the 30th or 31st, you will be prorated credit from that 25th to the end of the month. Does that make sense for January?
It makes sense, but it still means I didn't have for 2 weeks what I paid for.
Well, you will get a credit for that if that's the billing cycle.
Well, I think what she's saying is, up until the changeover, you were getting the Hallmark Channel and those. So now with the change,
I haven't had it.
yeah, and so when the 24th came is when you lost the
That's
channel.
last week. No, it was before that. It was before that. The 24th was last Thursday. For 2 weeks, we have not
Okay,
had
we
it.
didn't make any changes to the system till the 24th.
Well, it's been missing.
Okay.
Okay, and the other thing is, can we start having a bill that's in English instead of like Tahoe something or other? I mean, if you have a box, say box. If you have, select or whatever the other new ones are, put that in. I mean, it's hard to understand what we're getting and what we're paying for. And a year ago, I had to call up and say, I don't understand what this bill is. I found out I was getting charged for all kinds of things. Let's have a bill that states in English what we're being charged for.
I thought it was in English. I will double check, but I really thought it was in English.
You have a question? Mind standing up?
I have a question on what happens in the middle of the night that every single morning I have to reset my set. Once I reset it, I can watch TV off and on all day long, but at 5 in the morning when I want to watch the business channel, I have to go to the hopper and reset the hopper.
That should not be. If you could, I think you'd get your name tonight or call into our tech center. Something's wrong. That should not be happening.
Okay, I will. Yes.
Do you?
It gets it at least once a day. I've got 3 TVs. I go to one bedroom, pops up, and I can't get it rerunning.
Is it on every channel?
Every channel.
Yeah, yeah, please call us. We'll send someone out. That shouldn't be happening. Yeah. No, not if it happens every day. No, there's something else going on. We'll take care of that. Yeah. That should be a very rare thing you have to unplug and do scans.
We have a question back here.
Yes.
Okay, your name?
Tana. So let's say that we live in an older home on the north. So let's say that we've only got one TV that's going to be able to function with a box. So will our other TVs just get the basic cable, or will they just not have TV at all?
So if you get the core or the premium, those 2 channel packages come with those bulk channels that are free and clear. So any TV in your house can get those channels. Once you jump from the Greenfield Premium to the AT200, okay, now you offer that Don system I told you about. Those are all set-top boxes, and you do not, so every TV in your house needs a set-top box. So the value on the core and the premium is that you do have TVs in your house that you do not need set-top boxes for to watch those channels.
So we're actually going to do the top 200. So what you're saying is, like, if it works, we have to have a box for every TV for it to actually work on those TVs. Right, but what I'm saying is if we get the 200 channels on one TV with the box, are we going to be able to just get the core basic on the other 2?
Unfortunately not. The bulk channels that are in the free and clear are those 2, the basic, the core and the premium. So those are the channels that are fed out off of sort of a different head end we call it the smart box, but that's free and clear. There's no proprietary signal for the set-top boxes. It's just out there. The other AT200, all those packages require a set-top box on every single TV. Oh, yeah, you get all those channels. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. You get all those channels, yes, but you need a set-top box.
I think what she's asking is if she has the 200 package on one TV, and she has the basic package on all the others.
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I'll double check. I'm pretty sure you have to be, because it's fed from the two different head ends. I will double check, but I'm pretty sure that it's one or the other.
Good.
So basically what you're saying is if I want the sports with the 200 and let's say our downstairs TV is the only one compatible to have with the set-top box, then our upstairs two TVs, if they're not compatible with the set-top box or whatever it's called, then they're just going to be scrambled. We're not going to be able to have any TV up there.
Correct. So here would be my advice for those TVs. Either get an HD antenna. Now you get a whole bunch of channels that are just free and clear. The other is I would look at possibly getting a little Roku device or a Fire Stick and try to get just those sports packages you want directly from those channels and put them on those TVs. This way you don't need set-top boxes, you're clear. That would be my advice. Otherwise, you would have to do the set-top box on each TV. No, you no, you do not. You do not.
Okay. So,
But to put in perspective, if you were in any other community outside of Rancho, you just can't turn your TV on and get a cable signal without a set-top box. You are required to have a set-top box. If you sign up with DirecTV, you need a set-top box on every single television. Rancho is very unique because we offer two packages where you can get channels on your television sets in the entire house without a set-top box. No other cable provider has that.
okay, we have another question back here. Patty?
My husband has on his smart TV, he gets HBO, and he pays for the box. But all our other television sets are just the basic. Are you telling me that now we can't get just the basic on the other two television sets?
Yes, well, that's how it was before, too. So if you had the basic, we had 3 basic packages before, where you could get those channels throughout your entire house on any TV. No set-top box needed. If you upgraded, you needed a set-top box on every TV. Same then as now. So now it's just we have 2 of those packages instead of 3.
Okay, you still haven't answered my question. My husband has the box on his television in his den. The rest of us don't have that. We just have the basic. Are we still going to be allowed just to have the basic on all the others, and he can have what he has for HBO?
The answer is yes, if you have the core or the premium, because those are the packages. Okay. Okay, but you have to realize you have to look at this, the channels have changed, so you'll be missing some channels. If you still want missing channels, there's options to get those. One is through the apps. One is through set-top box and a higher package from Dish.
I'm still not getting it. Are you trying to tell us that for basic, for all the other televisions, we have to also have a box because he's getting HBO on his den and has a box? Are we going to still be able to just watch the basic on the other televisions?
If you have one of the 2 basic packages. So if you have the core package or the premium, the answer is yes. Okay. If you have the higher ones after that, the answer is no.
Okay, just a second. We're recording, so we appreciate you. Well, that's okay, just so everybody can hear.
I think I know what, because I have the same question. If I have basic or core or premium now, and that's all I have, And so I can get these channels. I'll have fewer of them now under the basic or core premium. But I want to upgrade my smart TV to the top 200. So I have to have a set-top box for that.
Yes.
Am I still able to get the core and the premium on the other two? And I think you're saying no.
No, that's
so. If I upgrade to a top 200 or whatever it is, I lose the opportunity to get the core or the premium on the other TVs. Is
That is correct. That's why the core, if you look at all the value of all the packages, it's my opinion the premium is the best value because of the reason you get the most channels in all your TVs. And you can have a set-top box. But if you want to have television service on a TV without a set-top box, again, like no other community can have, you have to be in one of those two packages.
So would it be true that what some people are trying to do is upgrade one to the top 200? Could I get it now on my smart TV? Could I just get the app?
Yes. So
and still get
that's what I would do.
So I could still have core or premium on all three TVs. I simply buy HBO app or whatever app people want and stream it onto my.
Yes. If I lived in Rancho Murieta, in the north side, I would order the Greenfield Premium package, and all my other TVs, I would have a little Roku or something and would just get the app because of the wiring issues and the,
Cool. Are we almost done with questions? Did I see any more? Okay, I thought I saw some over here. Okay. Do you mind standing? Your name?
My name is Paul. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I have an internet question. I had somebody come over to the house yesterday to take a look at the wiring. I unfortunately wasn't home to ask the technical questions and understand what was being asked as well as explained. We have a cable modem now that we purchased through Greenfield years ago for our internet. My wife was told that that would no longer be needed. They were going to replace that and that they are going to be hardwiring the internet connection into the room where the cable modem is located. What are they talking about? She couldn't explain when I asked that question. I asked, are they pulling the coax and putting in Cat5 and running that back to our distribution switch? What are they doing? And she didn't know. So as a result of the new 35 megabit basic level, are we looking at replacing our cable modems with an RJ45 compatible modem instead?
No, no. So not being there, I'm just going to sort of speculate, okay? I suspect they wanted to push your wireless router further inside the house. I suspect.
It sits right on top of the modem. It is the wireless router sits on top of the little cable modem. So it's not located in a different room at all. And the signal has been strong ever since we've had it.
Okay, is it near the optical converter?
It is at the opposite end of the house.
Okay, and they wanted to run a new line?
They wanted to hardwire. And I said, why are they putting in the hardwire? She said, they're going to do it right here at the telephone jack. And I said, telephone jack? Are they planning to replace the Cat3 with Cat5 and run that back to our distribution switch? And by then,
again, not being there is tough to say. Again, speculation, that the wiring you have in your house might be sufficient for Cat5, but the jack they put on is a Cat3, so not good for internet. So if they just change the jacks, now you're good. But I'm speculating, I'm not there.
And I asked that too, if they were changing it from an R.
Right, that could be what they were doing. Okay, and that, by the way, that's a better connection.
Correct.
Obviously, hard line.
Correct.
I highly doubt they would run a new line. It sounds like they just changed those jacks for you. If you want me to look into it and find out the specifics, I'd be happy.
Because I know I have Cat5 in the house. It was pulled with Cat5, but I've got a standard with RJ22 for the phone.
That is the exact answer then.
Okay.
So that is great. You have Cat5. Now you're golden. All you got to do is put the RJ45 connector on. Okay. And that's probably what they did for you.
It's possible, but like I said, it was
no, I think that's
more technical than she understood.
Yeah.
So,
but that's good you have that cabling.
All right, thank you.
Not home? That's because we're all here. Okay, I'm coming. You want to come on out or? Well, here, at this time.
Hi, my name is Jeanette. I have two questions. Oh, well, one question, one comment. Okay, in our house, we have the 722s, and we also have the PACE. Now, the PACE, I'm understanding that the PACE determines that you only get basic, right?
So the PACE are older boxes, okay, that we tried to use. In fact, a lot of the PACE boxes not even supported anymore. We used them because they were cheaper. And we were trying to allow people with the basic packages a cheaper option for a set-top box.
Okay, now 2 of those boxes, I do want to upgrade to the top 200 that we have on the 722s in our other 2 rooms.
Okay.
Do we get to keep the PACE, or do we have to change to a different box?
I think you need to change. I'll find out for sure.
Okay.
See if those space boxes can. If you do, I would recommend using the Hopper Duo, not the 722. Okay. But I can find out for sure for you. So.
Okay. And there'd be no charge for them coming out to change those?
No, as long as they're not doing like cabling work.
No, they did that when we first came.
Yeah,
They put the
then-
Cat 5
then
in
there's
for
no
us at that
charge.
time when we moved in here a year ago.
Yeah, then there's no charge.
My second comment is, get people in your technical department that know what they're talking about. I've had 2 times where we have called them, and they are absolutely clueless.
Okay.
One time when we needed, we used to get on the 722 with the top 200, we got the 5,000 channels. There are 5,000 listed channels up there. There truly is. And we used to get the Warrior games through there. And then we got them at the beginning of this season, and then all of a sudden, nope, didn't get them anymore. Okay. When we called your people about it to find out what in the world was going on, they tried to tell us, you don't get 5,000, you only get up to 1,000. I said, I'm looking at my TV right now. It says I have 5,000, which are the NBA higher band channels.
I think I would have answered it the same way. I actually,
I'm telling you.
our guys, listen, we're not perfect. Our
So-
guys will make mistakes.
but this is the second
anytime
time
we
I've
have
had-
an
yeah.
issue where we think we record for teaching purposes, and we'll go back. We have some pretty good guys who service. I mean, they're in my office. The call center's right down. I listen to them all day long. I've got guys that will be on the phone for 3 hours trying to help someone. They're very polite, and if you had asked me that question, I would have answered it the same way. I don't know anything about 5,000 channels. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we'd really,
Okay.
so we'd really like to wrap up the town hall no later than 7:30 for everybody. So is there any last minute questions we have, or? Okay, sir, come on, stand back up.
So this is Mike, related to the basic channel I had when we moved into Rancho Murieta, and it did not need a box, I was told. But the fact that we had an old VCO TV, and the channel lineup you changed, or when you took over, went from some number to -1, -2, -3. You know, it was like 129-1 was different frequency, 129-2 was different frequency. As a result, our TV was not keeping up with changes. It would only pick up channels because it's an older TV. So we were told to get a new box. So we got the box. So it's working. Now the question is, now we are using basic as it comes out, your basic core. Will it still work with the old TVs, which are not, doesn't have all the various frequencies?
So with the channels, Dish has a certain number. In fact, almost cable company has different -1s, and that happens. So what they do is they have the guide that matches all of those. Older TV, and I don't know if this is the issue, but some older TVs do not have what's called a QAM tuner inside. Okay, and that's a problem. Okay, now you can get a separate QAM tuner, so you don't have to go out and buy a brand new TV. They sell very cheap QAM tuners, but I suspect that could be it. Okay, so if you have an older TV, I would just do a quick search in the manufacturer and the model number. It'll come right up in the spec sheet whether it has a QAM tuner inside. If it does not, again, rather than going out buying a newer TV, an option is to buy a very cheap little Quam tuner that will satisfy that.
Okay. So, so just in conclusion, we want to thank you for coming out. And if anybody isn't a member of our website yet, we have flyers out by the cookies. It'll tell you how to go ahead and join. I really encourage everybody to go out to our website. We have a great new description of our community, thanks to one of Cheryl McEnany, actually, and it's a wonderful description. I think it's actually our best update of the website. So I hope everybody enjoyed the evening. I think it was full of good information. We, again, thank you, Mike. You did answer the questions.
Can I make one final little comment?
Absolutely.
So we really have worked very hard to get good service up at Rancho. These pricing packages, my guys, myself, we have scoured across the country looking at cable packages, communities, and because if we're going to come in with a new package, we want to know what the true value is. It is really hard to find another community outside of Rancho Murieta with the value that is offered here today, with gigabit service. It's unheard of. So I know there's some people upset about some minor things, maybe not minor to you, but I hope you come away with the bigger picture that you've got fiber now to your home. It has hopefully enhanced the value of your home. You are future-proof from a communication standpoint to get gigabit service that people in San Francisco can't get at a price that is unheard of. So we are trying. I hope that you do see that value. We're also not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, okay? But we're trying our best, especially with the inside wiring issues, to try to get the best service so you don't have to do a lot of upgrading, but some of it will be needed at different times. So anyway, I do want to thank you for your time, and if you ever have a problem, you can call us. Our guys are very friendly, very knowledgeable, and they'd be happy to come out and help you with whatever you need. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, again for coming.